Well, good afternoon, neighbors. It is a cold, windy day outside, and so I thought I'd talk to you about plants in your garden, some seeds that you might be able to plant or want to plant. And this afternoon, I'm going to be talking about spaghetti squash. Where should you plant your spaghetti squash? Well, you plant it in the full sun 2 weeks after the last frost. And the soil needs to be loose, well drained soil, and you can add some compost. When you put these seeds in your garden, plant these in hills, 3 to 4 transplants per hill, and 3 feet between each hill. Now, you can direct sow this if you'd like, or you can grow your own seedlings, or you could go out and buy some. Now, is this easy to grow? Yes, it is easy to grow. This is spaghetti squash, and it provides a large amount of nutrients. Now, do spaghetti squash climb? Well, yes, it will if there's something available to climb on. It can grow on the ground if you do not have a trellis or a fence for it to grow on. It is a vining vegetable, so it will spread. And again, you can sow these seeds directly in the garden. That's what I have done in the past. Now, people ask me, can you grow these in a container? Yes, you can. If they're large enough containers, at least 5 gallons, and they have plenty of holes in the bottom for the drainage. Now, the plants will run and climb if they have something to climb on. They will not stay in the 5 gallon bucket. It's just too much. It's not a big enough space. Again, when the temps are 70 degrees and above, it loves full sun. Now, you can stake these vines if you wish. Now, when you stake them, if you're going to stake them in the garden or even in a bucket, make sure that it's sturdy enough to hold the vines and also the spaghetti squash. And it's not going to be tipped over by the strong wind if you might have one. Now, spaghetti squash is a vine, grows on a vine, and you can control the vines by having a certain area that you just have the spaghetti squash planted in. You can loosely tie it onto a trellis. So it's up to you on how you plant these. Let's say you want to start some seeds. Well, the germination of the seeds is between 7 and 14 days long. You sow the seeds 1 inch deep and 3 seeds per spot. When they start to grow, thin them out and leave the strongest plant. That allows that one strong plant to produce more and not compete for nutrients. Again, you'll be spacing these 18 to 24 inches apart, and the rows, in between the rows, is 36 to 48 inches apart. Now, this allows for easy walking and harvesting. You may have the spaghetti squash grow into your rows, and you can try to control that also. I check mine every morning, so in case I need to move something or tie something, then I can do that. A friend of mine asked me what grows well with spaghetti squash, like a companion plant. Well, there are quite a few. There's corn, hot peppers, tarragon, marigolds, sunflowers, sweet peppers, radish, and leeks. Well, I want the spaghetti squash as soon as possible, so how do I know it's ready to pick? The spaghetti squash is ready to pick when it has turned a golden yellow or a dark yellow color. The skin will be very thick and hard. If you've ever tried to cut a spaghetti squash open, you know exactly what I mean. Now, on there could be a few dead leaves. Now, what do we do with the dead leaves? It does not usually require any pruning except to harvest the flowers or remove the dead blossoms, if by chance you have dead ones. So you can leave the dead leaves on there or you can take them off. So I've planted the squash in my garden. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. How many squash per plant should I expect? Now, this will vary in your area and per plant. If it's maintained properly, it's possible to get 10 to 20 squash per plant. Possible, not guaranteed. Well, if I want 10 to 20 squash per plant, how much do I need to water? 1 to 2 inches every week. Now, if you have dry spells, you need to water more often. So check your soil to make sure it stays moist but not wet and not boggy, not like a swamp. So I want to make sure that I water thoroughly whenever the soil is dry. It does like moist soil. And don't forget to remove the weeds around your squash plants. You can add compost. You can also add Epsom salts beforehand, but the Epsom salts that you will add will be without scent. Don't get the lavender scented and put it in your garden with your vegetables. You can also put straw underneath your, when your vines start to grow, so the squash are not touching the dirt, the soil, and therefore they have a nice dry place to produce squash. Well, I thank you so much for stopping by. I welcome my new subscribers, and I welcome back my current subscribers. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up, and think about planting spaghetti squash this year. Look in your zone to see when it's the proper time to plant and the proper time to harvest. Well, I appreciate you again coming by, and I hope to see you soon. I wish you great gardening.